Okay, you've warmed up and you're ready to go. So smash that like button and subscribe. And I'm going to play a round of disc golf here at Mount Airy Forest Disc Golf in Cincinnati, Ohio. So it should be an interesting round. I'm going to talk about what I'm throwing, why I'm throwing it, and how these disc golf discs fly. Let's get started. Number one, par 4, and quite some distance to the tee, which is down there. So 540 feet straight uphill most of the way. Okay, starting things off with the king. My king says -1 for the third number, which is turn. And that means when you throw it on a hyzer, -1 should turn over a little. -2, a little more. -3, -4. So if you throw a disc on a hyzer and it turns up, it's understable. Right hand, backhand, understable. Now, for an appropriate number, this is very understable. I can throw it with a lot of hyzer, or I can throw it like this and it'll turn over and become a roller. I have a separate video on throwing a roller, so check that out too. But let's just say that this is very understable. The lighter the disc, the more understable it can be sometimes too. The more worn in a disc gets, the more unstable it can be. First number is speed. 0s to 3s are your putters. 4, 5, 6, mid-range. 7, 8, 9, fairway, or also called control drivers. And then anything above that, 11, 12, 13, 14, those are your distance drivers. They're designed to be less controllable, but go more of a long distance. A control driver should pretty much stay pretty straight. They should have smaller fourth numbers, which is the fade. All discs are going to fade at the end. Forehand flick is going to fade off this way. Right hand, backhand, fade off that way. So the second number is actually glide. That's how much the wind will take it. If you don't want the wind to affect like your putter, then you want a lower second number because you don't want the wind to take your putts. You want them to be accurate. But if you're throwing a distance driver, well, having a glide of 5 or 6 is good because the wind will help to carry it further in many instances. You have to know what these numbers mean and know how they work for you. If you want a forehand flick to fade to the right, you do want a higher fade at the end. That last number, if it's a 3, the disc will fade more. If it's a 1, it'll fade less. So you can control these discs and have them do whatever you want. Then I threw my Avenger SS. Tried to get it up and around the trees with some fade. And then don't listen to what your friends throw. Most people would have thrown a mid-range there, but I chose my Hex Rakitan. Got me pretty close to the basket for my putt with the Polecat. On to the next one. Number 2, I believe, is 340 feet. And tee pad's all the way back here. So again, it's kind of uphill and over the crest of the hill there. Tough. Okay, started off with a roller with my understable king like I was talking about. Throw it with a little anhyzer, let it turn over and catch and roll, and that's what I did. Got me pretty close for the nice approach with the witness. On to the next one. Number 3 appears to be a bit of a dog leg left, and well, it's tough. You've got a mando, which means mandatory. It's mandatory that you go on this side of the tree, so to the inside of the tree, and here is the tee pad, 375 feet. Okay, interesting shot with my Pro Style D4 Lightning discs. Very interesting disc here. I really like them. They kind of have ridges on the inside. I like the way the grip feels. I use a couple of these, like my Dauntless SKB Lightning also. And had to clear that Mando, but I still wanted it to go left. So I tried to sell it left, and it barely made the Mando. I thought it was going to be kind of off this way, but I guess it either faded or skipped or did something and ended up farther right than I thought. And then I used a DX Destroyer as my approach shot. And you know, most people poo-poo DX plastic, but it's the cheapest, and it gets more flippy, breaks in better, easier than the fancier plastics. It's not as durable, that's true, but it's cheaper, and I like the way it flies. So the Destroyer got me there for the putt with my polecat. Now that was a true putt there, first one, but sometimes I throw multiple discs. I'm shooting these videos and I want you to see all sorts of discs that I'm throwing. So yes, disc golf is very, very hard. It's a tough sport. If you're shooting plus 15 over par, try to shoot plus 14 the next time. It's not an easy sport. On to the next one. Well, I'm not sure if this is 4 or A. It says A, but it's pretty far and over a little ravine and valley here. So tough. It says it's 305 feet, but seems farther to me. Sometimes you got to get a little creative in disc golf, and that's what I did there. My trusty crank SS for the drive just turns over beautifully, avoids all the trees, and fades back nicely. Got me, well, if you can have a putt, that's a good thing. Not an easy putt, but I didn't listen to traditional wisdom. Sometimes when I throw a driver with my right hand backhand, I get that nice fade. And I'm pretty familiar with these discs and I know how they fade, so I just put it up and let it fade on into the basket. And this is actually a Blizzard Champion Wraith. So I'll do that oftentimes. My right hand backhand is not very strong. That's why I flick on my drives. But I do like when I'm in that 80 to 120 range sometimes to throw a right hand backhand like that and let it fade on into the basket. So there you go. Write your name on all these discs so you can get them back. It's really tough in these leaves. Sometimes you can lose them. And always call the person if you find a disc. Don't just take it. That's disc golf etiquette. And also bring a towel if it's wet. And of course, bring something to drink too. On to the next one. Well, the last one is A and this one is B. Straight across. And it says 250 feet. But again, feels longer than that to me. Okay, Prodigy E2 Air, and then Wedge, my trusty approach disc. On to the next one. Number 4 is really far. 480 feet. You see? Tough to spot, but there it is. Okay, started off with the river and then the Vulcan. Kept me up towards the left side. I like to putt downhill. And then the putt with the polecat. On to the next one. Skipping around a bit, number 14. This one is 375 feet. Straight on down. Alrighty, started things off with my Hex Rakitan. Really nice hyzer flip disc, S curve, and should be throwing nose down, basically flat. If you throw nose up, it's going to get too high and it's going to fade off to the right. So nose down, that's how you get the distance. That's how these discs are designed to get you the distance. And then the approach with the wedge. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this round here at Mount Airy Forest Disc Golf in Cincinnati, Ohio. Nice course, and I hope you check out all of my disc golf disc videos, reviews, things like that. Check out my car reviews if you like cars. I'm Driving Ivan on YouTube. Subscribe to both of my channels, Ivan Katz Productions and Driving Ivan Katz. Leave off the G there. And again, thank you so much for watching and playing disc golf. I'm Ivan Katz.